I'm going to go over this person that I met, which I was led to many, many years ago. His name was Count Albert Assini, the favorite nephew of the ancient Chinese family, the richest family in the world. Okay, and Albert lived in Hong Kong. Albert's gone now. He's 76. He's been gone about 3 years. He passed on. He spent his whole life preparing to help out and to meet me eventually. Rebazar and Paul brought all this together on the physical sense. Ava and I knew him for about 4 years. Showed him the vessel project, everything else. Albert kept promising, and Albert was to inherit the ancient Chinese fortune worth trillions. Him and his nephew were going to split it. His nephew was going to do his projects. Albert was supposedly going to help me with my projects. Well, there was a drink involved where these individuals, his grandfather's 500 years old, they take this drink and it keeps them, around for a long, long time to do things. Well, Albert eventually didn't want to take the drink. I said, Albert, I'll take it with you. Let's just do this. Let's get going with this project and the vessel project. Let's help the world. Well, Albert kept putting it off. And Albert was a member also of Eckankar in previous years also. He would fly to the seminars, etc. Another gal here, Gloria Wong, who hasn't been around for a while, who's in Singapore. She knew Albert many, many years too, and other people, etc. Well, Albert and I became the best of friends, etc. He kept promising that he would fund the projects, etc. Well, after 4 years, finally, his wife got cancer, etc. So he became exhausted, and he actually wanted to leave here. So he actually made himself leave. Now, Albert knew the real guides. He knew me. He knew why I was here, etc. See, Albert knew all this stuff. But Albert really didn't take the time to figure out what was really being presented here. To him, it was just another intellectual whatever, okay? Something that you read about and you sing the new you, what have you. Well, this was Albert's attitude. And so Albert, his idea was that he wanted to leave because he thought himself as a very special person because he was with the ancient Chinese family. Again, the richest family in the world. They have all the money. They're the ones that started the BRICS, BRICS, another financial system aside from the Federal Reserve. You know these people very, very well, like I know everybody else in the world from the Vatican, the dark popes, the black popes, etc. I know all these people, and they know me. That's very real here and on the real side. So Albert takes off thinking that, oh, gee, he would keep telling me, gee, Duane, I want to go to the seventh heaven. I want to get out of here. I don't want to work for my family. I don't want to take the drink. Okay, Albert, you made the choice. And even on the real side, I saw him prior to his leaving, actually the night before, but even prior to that, we discussed the project and the funding. He was very arrogant. He said, no, I'm not going to do any of that, etc., because he was afraid. He was really afraid. We saw this, had other seers also see this. He was very, very afraid to step up and be real. But again, he knew Rebazar, the real guides, etc. And the night before he passed away, I saw him. I was sitting with him, and Rebazar was sitting in back of me. And then I saw them, Albert and I had a little discussion that off together. And yes, Rebazar did guide him to the astral realm because Albert never took the time to figure this out. Albert took it for granted, like so many people do, thinking in their minds that, oh, I know this, or, this or that, or I've read the Duane's books, etc. But you know what? You sincerely have to 100% earn your way all the way. You got to figure it out because you're going nowhere. The boys are not going to just take you into the real universes because you haven't recognized it. You're not ready. It's like a child. You can't just stick him in the car and expect him to drive. There's a lot of training that becomes involved, and he has to grow into it and recognize how to drive that vehicle. Well, the Real UNUversisss, and Paul made it look simple, didn't he? Oh, you get your initiations and you go here and there and there. Well, guess what? They really don't mean anything unless you have the recognition. So you can have your little merit badges on the physical level, but realistically, you've got nothing. That's real. So I wanted to share this with you, and that is that I suggest those of you that are taking this for granted, get going with your attitudes and get them out of the way, because you have to figure it out. Life and the boys are not going to figure it out for you. That's how real it gets. And it's not a place, it's a real recognition. So if you want to fool around in creation and your personal life comes first, well, that's all you've got. You have to be 100% standing real with the all is and recognize it to free yourself from creation. That's how real it gets. So we've all been through all the funny stuff, all the foo-foo, all the phony history, the spiritual past, etc. They all equal nothing because they're just something created in creation. Now's the time to get real, and it's so much better, but you got to figure it out. So who will step up?